We've been wanting to get a professional or a YouTube gamer, someone who is beyond kind of the amateur level for some time now, and was super stoked when it was actually Jeremy from he manages our Twitter. He forwarded me the Twitter and your account, and I was like, this is perfect.
Yay.
So let's just get kind of like a quick background for all of our viewers. Kind of like cover what games you play, what you do, and then we'll kind of get into the nitty gritty of how you use Wevideo.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, Magic Moonshot. I've been in the gaming space officially for, I guess, like 5 years, but it's always been kind of a part-time hobby, just something I enjoy. And then, yeah, I do a variety of things. Like I live stream, and then I'm across most social media platforms, which is what I use Wevideo for, is for like highlight clips and that sort of thing. But I play mostly Destiny 2 on Xbox. And yeah, I love synthwave 80s stuff. So my Twitch channel is a lot of 80s vibes. We do a little bit of like retro Pac-Man for like the bits and sub badges, and just kind of have fun with like the whole arcade feel. Like I want it to feel like you're back in an 80s arcade.
Love it. So yeah, kind of back to is gaming and streaming still just a hobby, or is this?
It's kind of like a side gig. So I work in gaming and esports partnerships as my my actual job. But I have done everything from like streaming, 10 hours a week up to like 40 hours a week. So I guess it's kind of like a side gig at this point. So it does bring in some income. I do take it pretty seriously, like as you would a job, but it's not quite full time right now.
Well, I mean, it's so cool. It's interesting because I mean, for me, growing up, like the fifth grade dream job would be like astronaut, firefighter, and that sort of thing. And I feel like there's been kind of a somewhat recent transition now to where like the dream job has been, and this has probably been inspired by like big time players like Ninja or PewDiePie, who stream and make a ton of money doing so, is being what I'd call a YouTube gamer or a streamer. So was that a dream of yours too? Like, how did you get into this space? How did you because it's one thing to play, it's another thing to get to the point where you're streaming and you feel like people actually want to just watch you play, which is such a weird concept.
It is totally different. So when I first got into streaming, I was kind of new to the whole idea of like Twitch or live broadcasting gameplay, but I'd always played video games. Like that was always kind of my go-to like hobby. I just had never thought about turning it into something beyond just like my living room couch. So it's actually a friend of mine that was like, hey, I'm thinking about starting streaming and we should do it like together. And so he talked me into it. So his name's Poota Poot. And so we did the Poot and Magic show, where we would team up together and we would both broadcast. But like from there, I guess I got bit by like the bug, because a few months in, I like quit. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It's taking too much time. And like 2 weeks and I was back. Like I couldn't get away from it if I tried. Back like 2.5 years ago, I had my daughter and everyone was like, oh, she's going to be gone for a while. And I was back streaming in 5 days after having her. Cause I miss that. Like, it's more than just the video game. It's really like connecting with people, and like the game is just like what you have in common. So like that's kind of where the arcade idea came from. It's not just about playing Pac-Man or Pong or whatever the game is. It's really about a place to come and hang out and meet people with common interests.
Super cool. So I get an idea of kind of the timeline here. To put things into perspective, how long were you kind of starting off, and like give me a count of like how many subscribers you had, and then from there, at what point did you first make your first dollar, and like how quickly was it in this kind of process? Because right now you're at it's like 2.7 with followers.
A little bit of context to that. So I was on Mixer for 3 years. So I was on Twitch for like 10 months, and I would say it was very like casual hobby. I maybe was at like 250 followers at that point, but I hadn't even hit like affiliate status, or affiliate didn't exist because this was like 2016, I guess. But then when Mixer came out, it was right when Microsoft bought it out, because it used to be called Beam. And then Microsoft bought out Beam, and it later changed to being called Mixer. And then on Mixer was different because of there was almost zero latency between the broadcaster and the chat. So that's where I really kind of started building like a community and started having dialogue with people that would come and watch me play games. And from there, I grew. I became a Mixer partner for 2 years. I passed, I don't know, I had over 30,000 followers on Mixer. But then I decided to come back to Twitch because I just saw more longevity opportunities on Twitch. And then about 5 or 6 months later, Mixer shut down. So everybody was like, Magic, you can see the future. Like, how did you know? I got a little bit lucky with the timing of it. I saw the platform going in a direction I didn't want to go. So I came back over to Twitch, and it turned out to be kind of fortuitous. But that's kind of been like the journey. So I think it was when I started to really push for Mixer partnerships. So this was probably about 2 years into streaming that I started to kind of take it more seriously.
Awesome. So kind of let's bring video into this. How has video in particular, Wevideo for that matter, played a role in helping you grow?
I think the main thing is, especially when you're on a platform like Twitch, which some people complain is overly saturated, it's really important to make your mark and be distinctive, but it's also important to spread your content to other platforms and then draw them into your channel. One way I heard it described, and I don't remember who to credit for this, but they were saying that like your presence across social media or YouTube or other platforms is kind of like the storefront. Like when people walk past, what's going to catch their eye, catch their attention. So like for me as a Destiny streamer, it's starting to become more of a niche game. And I need to find the people that are interested in what my content is. And the way you do that is by taking a snippet from your stream and kind of showcasing it, right? So it's like that storefront idea. And if people like that little 30-second blurb or that little like almost promo for your channel, then they might come and hang out in your channel. They might become a loyal viewer. They might say hi, but it's just a way to kind of put your content into short form to find the right people to come into it.
And is that short blurb, that 30-second clip, where's that going? Is that on Twitch? Is that on Twitter, YouTube? Where, like, how are you broadcasting?
I mean, everywhere. Like, ideally, it's everywhere. So, for example, I posted a video today that I had made last week, and then I made a new video because I wanted to test out the idea of using templates. We kind of talked about it, but right now, vertical format clips are really popular, and that's a lot due to TikTok. So TikTok is huge for organic growth because people do look for gaming content on TikTok. It's not all lip syncing and dances. Like gaming content does pretty well over there, especially if you know how to like hashtag it correctly, catch people's attention. So vertical formats, what I've been using lately, that goes on TikTok. The other one that I think is unexpected is Instagram Reels. So
yep.
I posted a video today, and within an hour, it had over 1,000 views, which still blows my mind that like this is coming across their feed. So Instagram Reels is really big. And then also you can do it as, you can post it on Twitter. It's not quite as specific to the vertical format, but it can still work. You can also do YouTube Shorts. So you can use hashtag Shorts on YouTube, and it can do well there. So one clip I would put across 4 platforms. If you're doing a horizontal format, that changes because obviously you're not going to, some people can still do it on TikTok, but they have a lot more dead space, but it can still work. That can work really well for Instagram. That can work really well for Twitter. And then the YouTube, it would have to be a regular video, not a shorts. So,
right.
Yeah.
So in terms of kind of capturing this, let's talk about like workflow here. So are you recording yourself on Twitch and then moving that into Wevideo, and at that point cutting up a short piece?
Yeah, so people in like the stream, they can clip things that are funny, but if I went off of what people clipped of me, it would be like falling off the side of the map or blowing myself up with a rocket. So sometimes if I actually make a good play and nobody's there to catch it, I just clip it myself. Or you can even go back to your stream and then like scroll through, like you kind of have in your mind, like I want to capture this moment. And like, I feel like that's really important. Like you want to find what is that moment that's like summarizes your stream or like encapsulates what your channel's about? Like, what are you trying to promote? So you scroll back through and get a clip, download it, and then you put it into Wevideo and go from there.
All right. So we've talked about it. Can we see one of these clips, or could we get a glimpse of your Wevideo timeline? Kind of see how this is all made.
Yeah, I was testing out something today, like I mentioned, with the doing more specifically working with the templates. So I'm trying out something where I actually time myself to see how long it takes me to edit a video, because I feel like one thing that's really important in the gaming industry is like we overcomplicate things for ourselves, right? Like we get in our own head. And so this idea of like, I want to try to edit a video into 8 minutes. Like that's my goal. I want to have 8-minute edits because I like alliteration. Today's video is 12 minutes to edit, but like it wasn't so bad.
I was just about to ask kind of like the breakdown of when it comes to percentage wise anyway, how much of your time goes into gaming, and then what percentage of that then goes into the editing and promotion? Like how is that all broken out?
I mean, I think that the problem for me and for a lot of people is that we want to spend all our time on the stream because that's like the fun part.
Right.
But like the way you're trying to think about it, if like you're trying to pursue content like more seriously, it's the idea of a cake. Like you need to have substance to it, and the stream is just the frosting. Like that's the top layer that people see. That's the fun part, but you have to make sure there's substance, which is developed from building up like your Discord community or publishing your clips across multiple platforms. Like that's where you're gonna have a little bit more sustainability.
I like that. Yeah,
so
that's a good analogy.
I probably spend too much time streaming and not enough time working on video editing and stuff. But like that's something I'm working on, like being better at, having a broader online presence. So this is kind of this is a new account. I recently rebranded, so I had a lot of Wevideo stuff on an old account. So this one looks fairly empty, but like up here are all my uploads and stuff. But here's the video I made. It's not like super intensive, but this is only a 13-second long video, so you don't really want too much going on here. But yeah, kind of my workflow here is I kind of set up the different files like what I wanted. I do a lot of video files and then like only one audio file, which is technically just my camera.
You're naming your tracks.
Yep. I named my tracks. This organization is good because if I want an 8-minute edit, like I have to know ahead of time where everything's going to go, right?
Right.
And I can show you like kind of one of the templates I was building out later if you want. But anyways, so on here, the key thing for vertical format, especially for like TikTok, is if you use a webcam, you're actually going to duplicate this. Like this clip is identical here and here, but one is for the gameplay and one is for the webcam. And so you actually cut the webcam out and reposition it. Top and center is most common for this. This one here is actually the border I put around my camera just because I don't already have a cam box. I use a green screen. So I wanted there to be a little more distinction. So that's what this is. This is just the webcam. Up here is obviously the subtitles. The nice thing about the subtitles is like once you have it set up with like the font and the color and the size and position, like you can just copy paste it and then you only have to edit the text and the position of it. So this one's really short. There's only 3 boxes of subtitles. Usually I'll have like, I don't know, 8 to 12 maybe. This is a short one. And then up here, this is what I would consider my outro. I don't like to do an intro because I want to catch people's attention just with what's happening in the clip, but instead I use an outro. That's just personal preference. But the outro, it has a little GIF that's a Twitch little box here, and then this is part of my logo that just says Magic Moonshot because I do want people to know my main platform is Twitch. So that's all. That's pretty much all that's happening. And then these gray boxes are just the transitions, like a fade in, just so it's not quite so harsh to start with. The same thing here with the outro, like a little bit of a fade in, and then these are all fade to black because at the very end I like for the clip to fade out and all you're left with then is just ta-da, here's where to find me.
Oh, so, that's great.
That's it. Do you want me to show this 13 seconds?
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, and we can. I think you've sent this to me already as well.
I didn't because I made this one today. So
okay. Yeah, cool. You can send me this after.
Oh, I love. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. I got a little excited. and then I died. And that's it. So this is short and simple. Sometimes there'll be like a kill streak or something a little bit longer, but this one was just kind of everybody's gonna laugh at me. I'm staring at the scenery and then I die.
So kind of back to the content real quick. Obviously there's tons of different video games and there's tons of different kind of approaches you can take to playing them and why a viewer watch you. You could be really, really good and they could watch you because they're looking to learn to be as competitive you.
Yeah.
They could be watching you to learn a walkthrough. They could be watching you because you're funny in the commentary throughout. I mean, what do you think sets you apart from, why do your viewers subscribe to you?
So honestly, I think that my biggest draw, like I will never be the most talented or the most attractive or whatever. Like recognizing your strengths is important. Like my strength is that like I am very much myself when it comes to on stream. Like I am just relatable. Like that's important to people, is that like they see me as a 33-year-old mom out here pursuing my dream of gaming content, right? And it's like people like that because they can relate to that. So that's one thing I have. I think I'm fairly funny. I'm pretty sarcastic and I just like don't take myself too seriously. So we have fun together, like laughing at me. So I think that, I guess if you want to summarize it, like community building is really my skill set. And that kind of applied to the job I have in esports and gaming too. It's just building relationships. But when I'm communicating with my chat, I don't see them as usernames or viewer numbers. I see them as like the people that they are. So like I'll find out like one of my viewers, like they just had a daughter. So I'll ask like, how's your daughter doing? Like, you know, how old is she now? Or if somebody just got a new job, like how was your workday today? So it's really building a relationship that goes beyond just the video game.
It's awesome. I mean, there's so much here just from this interview so far that people are going to take away from this. So, I mean, what inspired you to actually get into this? Was there a streamer that you started following at the beginning, and then kind of what keeps you going now?
Man, I don't think the idea of being like a full-time streamer was ever like, to start with, it wasn't the goal. I wasn't like looking at these streamers like starstruck. It was really more of an experiment. And then it became like a creative and social outlet. So there's so many different like journeys, but like that was mine. I never really had goals or dreams. It was like, hey, let's try this and see what happens. And then it kind of stuck, you know?
And is that goal changed now? Yeah,
I think so. I think that like when I started to take it more seriously, like, oh, I can do this, you know? I might not have what this person has to offer, but like, I'm going to own my own corner of the internet, you know? Like I'm going to create my own channel in like this space. It's a representation of me, and I want people to feel like they are welcomed and that they belong and that they can hang out here. So I think when I really started to kind of pour myself into my content, then I was like, you always get nervous. Like, are people going to accept me just for being me? Right? Like, am I actually enough? But then once people start to come back and like, they say you made them laugh or you put a smile on your face, like I wanted to just keep doing it. Like I want to do more.
Yeah, so it makes it all worth it.
I think long term, like I would love to do full-time content, but like in the meantime, I'm really happy with just like slowly growing something that like is meaningful because it's based on relationships with these people.
Right.
And some Destiny shenanigans too.
Yeah. Love of the game still stays true.
Yeah.
And so have you had kind of this consistent support throughout, or has that changed as well? I mean, got a family. Do they enjoy this too? Do your kids play video games?
So my kids are 3 and 2. My son turns 4 tomorrow. So they don't really play video games as of yet so much. He plays like Lego Star Wars. It's pretty cute because he'll just yell at the screen, which is pretty funny. So I think eventually they'll start to be a little bit more involved in the content. They'll make like stream appearances and stuff, which is always fun. My husband is super supportive. Like he knows that like I love this and that I am so passionate about it. So every time I talk about like, it's too hard, I'm going to quit, it takes too much time or it's too much work, he's like, but you will miss this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, I would miss this. So he always pushes me to like, just keep going. So the support, I guess, like as far as like the channel growth, that's like super inconsistent, but like you just ride those waves, and I feel like it helps you to kind of establish what you're really about in the high times and in the low times.
Right. And does he play video games too?
He does. He plays very different games than I do, like farming simulator and car racing games, where I do like battle royales and first person shooters. He'll play a little bit, so he knows at least what I'm talking about, but like at the end of the day, he knows I could beat him, so he doesn't really want to commit to the game too much. So
cool. Okay, so let's do a huge kind of transition here. Let's talk equipment.
Okay.
So obviously, I don't know if when you first started out, tell me, like, so how do you capture your video? Are you connected to a computer? Do you do it recording through Xbox and then upload? What's your setup?
Okay, so when I started, it was like a TV tray next to my couch that I could put a tablet on to follow chat. Like that was it. I streamed directly from Xbox. I did when I was over on Mixer and like hit partnership, I upgraded. So I got a computer and I actually run the stream from my Xbox through the PC using a capture card, which is nice because then you can add things like a camera and like follower pop-ups and overlays and like music and all of that kind of stuff. So I think that's not necessary, but it's a nice piece. I spent a lot of money on my audio equipment, so hopefully you could tell. I don't know. But I have like a Go XLR mixer and I have a condenser microphone. It's the AT2020. And then I upgraded my camera. And then I use a cam link from Elgato to connect. It's a regular, photography camera, but I use it as my webcam.
Okay.
So I feel like I have a pretty nice setup right now. I'm pretty happy with it, but I don't think it's like necessary to grow your channel. It's just kind of nice, like for me, like I have fun producing the content and kind of upgrading it because I want to be proud of what I'm creating.
Yeah, so. New toys.
They're fun toys.
You're gonna start wearing cool new shoes. It goes hand in hand.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I don't know how much of it's actually like necessary. Like you can definitely grow a channel just streaming from an Xbox, like directly to Twitch. But I like all the extras.
Awesome. So you mentioned you've been doing this for a little over 5 years now. If you could go back in time and tell yourself, change something at the very beginning that you didn't do that you wish you had, what would that one thing be? Or if there's something you've realized over these 5 years that would have helped you just getting going, what would that be?
I think that's a really hard one because it's just been such a learning process. But I think the one thing I would say is like just be true to yourself, which kind of sounds cliche, but like play to your strengths and not look at it as a competition. Because at the end of the day, you're not competing with other streamers or other content creators. Like just put out the best that you can do. I think that's what I would tell myself.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So we're nearing our tail end of our interview here.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish up with kind of some rapid fire Wevideo questions.
Okay.
And then you can see this live this Tuesday.
I'm prepping for the rapid fire.
Yeah, here we go. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Right off the bat then, why do you use Wevideo?
I use Wevideo because of the simplicity it offers, and then it also allows me to work on videos from multiple like platforms because it's all stored on the cloud. So I can work on it on my gaming streaming PC, or I can work on it on my Chromebook, and I have everything saved in one place.
Okay, and this kind of goes hand in hand, but what are some of your favorite features aside from the
so yeah, that's some of it, but I like how simple it is to do like the subtitles. I like that you have options for transitions and for cropping and for scaling, but I feel like it's ease of use, I guess, would be one of the big pros because it's not so overwhelming, but there's enough functionality to do what you want to do.
Awesome. And then to someone who's maybe dreamt about doing what you do, what's your advice to someone looking to become a professional gamer, game streamer?
Yeah, I mean, that's so hard. Kind of find out which route you want to take. Like you had talked about, because you can be a competitive streamer, you can be a community-oriented streamer, you can be a comedic streamer. Kind of find your niche and then add your own kind of personality into what you're doing. Like let people know the real you, because that's what's going to make you stand out from the masses.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Magic. To all of our viewers, where can they find you? How can they follow you? Keep in touch.
Yeah, I'm Magic Moonshot across most platforms. So that's Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and Twitch. Twitch does have a pesky little underscore at the end, but I'm working on getting that taken away. But yeah, pretty much everything is linked in both my Twitter or from my Twitch page. And if you come by the Twitch stream, if we hit the daily sub goal, I play a round of Pac-Man, like 1 round speed round with 1 life. So if you want to catch some retro Pac-Man action, I throw that in there with the Destiny content.
Awesome. Well, fantastic. Thank you again for your time.